Thanks for subscribing to my YouTube channel if you did. If you didn't, I would really appreciate it if you click subscribe. A couple of people have been asking what's happened in my life, or why is it that I'm making the decisions that I'm making now. So I thought I would share that with you. Back in 2016, I'd spent 12 years up until that point building up a career in learning and development that I really, really liked. And I'd got to a point where I was doing really well. But I also was spending most mornings sat on the end of my bed crying, like really crying, because I just couldn't face the day. And there I was trying to think of the strategy that I needed to employ in order to get through till 5:30, and that's not a comfortable place to be for anyone, and I knew that I couldn't last long there. So something for me had to change, and I had to take a really long hard look at my life to see what it was that was causing that unfulfillment that I had, or that I was feeling. And it was a shame that I got to that point, because, you know, I'd worked really hard at university, I got a degree, got a master's degree, because everyone had degrees in those days, so you needed competitive advantage, put myself into a lot of debt, and I'd worked hard in order to pay off that debt. So it almost seemed like, what was the point? Was the point doing that just to then pay that off, and now I'm getting out of it? But I'd come to the conclusion that the reason why I was feeling the way I was because I was upset with myself. I had given the best part of my day to someone else. I had agreed to give the best part of my life to someone else, and that someone else was an employer. And I say an employer because I could have had any job. I could have been working for anyone and I would have felt the same. And I was so upset with myself because I'd signed the contract that said, you can have my life from Monday to Friday, 9 till 5. And that just did not sit well with me anymore. And I knew I had to change that. So that's when we decided to go travelling. And wow, what a decision. But that's a whole new video. And yeah, we encountered so many challenges. We encountered such intensity, and we had the best, most amazing experiences. And one of the reasons why I decided to go travelling was because I was hugely curious as when you strip away everyone and everything you've ever known, what's left? Who are you? Who do you become? And I was faced with that, like really smack in my face when we came back to the UK, and it was the biggest cultural challenge I had faced up until that point, because I'd changed massively. I no longer fitted the mould that I once did, and it was quite overwhelming. It was quite upsetting and disconcerting, because you know you just have this feeling of no longer fitting in anywhere. And I'd been broken down as a person on this journey that we just had, which was great. And now I had the job of reconstructing myself. And there we were, you know, looking, we need to get a flat. So in order to get the flat, we had to get a really good paid job in order to pay the extortionate rents that there are in Brighton. And I started to panic. I was like, I don't want to get this high paid job and become the person that I don't want to be, to become the person that I'd walked away from. I didn't want that anymore. I didn't want to do that again. If that's what I had to do, then I didn't want the flat. And I didn't want to step back into what I'd stepped away from. And then that's when I knew that I didn't need to. Why did I have to do that? Oh yeah, I don't. So that's when I made the decision that, actually, do you know what? I'm not going to conform to that. I'm going to dictate my life. I'm going to control my life. And I'm going to say how I make my money and what I spend my money on. So that's when I made the decision that I was going to pursue this location-independent lifestyle. And I'd also made the decision because I knew I have this big task ahead of me of reconstructing who I am. And I don't want those influences in my decision-making process. I don't want to be infiltrated by what society says I should, and what the government says I should, and what the marketing experts say I should. I want to make the decisions based on who I am and what I really want. So I'm going on this soul-searching journey. And I hope to have a little bit more clarity as I put the pieces together. So that's why I've come to the decisions that I have. And I urge any of you, if there's any area of your life where you feel uncomfortable or dissatisfied, and you might not know that you actually feel like that because you feel like that so much, you might think that that's actually normal. But, scan, take a look at your life, and those areas where you don't feel fulfilled or comfortable in, just ask yourself the question why, because self-awareness is the first step, because once you become aware, only then can you actually then choose to do something about it. Now, you may decide, actually I want to make a change, or you may decide, I'm actually going to stick with what I've got, but at least then you can change your perspective about it, and you can accept that then with grace, because reality is relative. Whatever our mindset or perspective is towards something, that is our life. That is, we create what it is that we think. So yeah, just have a look and identify it, and then make a choice. Do you want to change, or do you just want to actually just change your mindset about that? I've just decided to do something really scary and drastic. Anyway, well, I hope that was informative for you. I was trying to think of something witty and funny to say, but I can't. So, and I'm sure my turning off is here somewhere. I don't know. I need Google Maps now. Okay, so thank you very much.